Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks.
Bumps.
And Bruises.
So sometimes I imagine myself on Shark Tank. Do you know what Shark Tank is?
I just watched it last night.
Yeah. Or all these entrepreneurs come together. And,
yes. One just didn't do so well, and the other one did really well.
Yeah. So you try to convince these
judges,
gazillionaires, to invest in what you're trying to sell. Many times they fail. Many times they fail. But y'all, I have some really good ideas, and my dream is to be on Shark Tank. I'm going to be a millionaire one day when I figure this out.
Have you ever seen this product that you thought about?
No, I've not.
What are you waiting on?
Honestly, I'm fear of failure probably that I'm, because you have to invest, you have to spend money to make it. And if I spend that money, invent this product, and then where do you start?
Here's my thing with Shark Tank. I'm not an avid watcher. I don't enjoy it as much as y'all do. My wife enjoys it a lot. But here's my thing. They're not interested in you or your product if you don't already have proven sales, a proven marketing plan, proven all of that. They want to see all of that. Which is not
ahead of time, you mean? They weed out.
Because they want to make sure they can make a buck off of it.
Right, which is not a bad idea. Okay, I need to know that you already have a product that will do well before I invest in it. Because that's the point of the show is, this is good. Here's $3 million to make it better. Because
but I need somebody to hand me that before I.
That's what I'm looking for. I want the show that is let's throw out your ideas to us.
I'm going to trust in you.
And then we'll figure out how to make it happen. Because I've had some great ideas too, but I'm like, where would I even start with buying the product, the materials to make it, or designing it, or all that? So we just need a show that has the idea maker and then the people that can make it happen.
Right.
But they're only looking for the ones that have the idea, have the product, have the marketing plan, and already have sales. Because I always say, how many sales did you have last year? What was your P&L chart? Show me that.
Half that stuff I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
It's all
but it sounds cool.
I have to tell y'all something, a funny little story. My daughter, when she was in the 5th grade, they had to come up with an invention for their history class or something. And she came up with this invention. Now, I don't know if someone has already done this. They probably have.
Are you going to tell it?
Yes. But for a 5th grader, she had to make it and everything.
Oh, wow.
And so I was one of those moms that you got to make it. That's your project.
Ain't helping you.
Yeah. And it was so simple. She took a paint stick. You know what I'm talking about, that you stir paint with? Yeah, paint stir stick. And she took a sponge, a nice kind of soft sponge, and she glued the sponge to the stick at the top. She said it is so hard to put suntan lotion on your back that she would take the suntan lotion, put it on the sponge, and then she was able to put the suntan lotion on her back herself without anybody having to do it for her.
So I can tell you right now that I'm online looking up sunscreen applicators, and they have, it looks like paint rollers
they
that do that.
Yeah.
But I wonder when they were made.
Yeah, this was when she was in the 5th grade. She's now 31.
Well, as a 5th grader, she's smarter than me right now, because when you started describing that, I thought, no, they already make toilet cleaners like that. I thought she had invented
cleaners and
the original toilet cleaner
for washing your back. I know they had that, but she did it for specifically for suntan lotion.
That's very creative and smart for a 5th grader.
And she was 10.
Very much
She was 10 years old.
They say, because I've watched the show a lot, and really the best inventions are the ones that have come out of a need, these moms who have needed something for their child, or would make it easier to carry something upstairs. They're like, man, I really wish they had this. And then they're like, well, hey, it's not out there on the market. Let's do it ourselves. Yeah. So those really are the best inventions. And you're right. I mean, how many times have I been sunburned on my back because I missed, if I didn't have somebody there with me, or even if I'm out with Hunter, he can't rub sunscreen on my back.
By the way, she made an A+ on that.
Did she?
Yeah. So I am just enthralled with that. I look at things like the Post-it note. Now, why could I not have thought of that?
I know it.
And I use Post-it notes like a crazy woman.
Me too.
And then I think of Barney. Who could not think of a big purple dinosaur? And look what happened with Barney. Can y'all think of some fun things that you think, goodness, why didn't I think of that? I think about the Swiffer. The Swiffer,
Yeah,
I mean, those.
that's true.
Yes, so easy. Just throw away the.
And I can
little
guarantee
pad.
you, every home in America has one of them in their closet.
Or something like that. They have one of those.
Or like, what about like a robe hook or a towel hook? Like how long have these been around?
Well, those, what do you call those?
Command strips?
Command strips.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And it was some person sitting in their house, just had that'd be a good invention.
Wouldn't it
and
be
now
nice to
they're
put something on the
gazillionaires.
wall without making a mark?
And
Voila, there you go.
Great
Yeah.
ideas that stick.
So not just inventions that change our life just independently, easily, but inventions that changed the entire world.
what about a light bulb
Where would we be?
In the dark.
in the dark?
I feel like I do that anyway. I feel like I walk around in the dark quite a bit. What about the wheel? If you didn't have the wheel, you wouldn't have anything. You wouldn't have cars.
God bless them cavemen.
You wouldn't have airplanes.
And you think of like back in the old days, they used wheels that were made of wood, but it was still,
It still
that was
rolled.
amazing
Yeah.
to them
Yes.
back then.
Oh,
so
yes.
we've come a long way, but yeah.
Hey, Gabe, you'd be in bad shape without this one.
The nail, or maybe even more recently, the screw to connect two boards together, keep them together. Hey,
You sure needed that with your swing set that you just put
Oh, I
together
know.
for your little
Don't-
boy, right? Well, Christopher Columbus needed this.
Compass?
A compass, yes, that's one for sure. And the printing press, what about,
Gutenberg.
we wouldn't have books, magazines, newspapers, although we don't really have magazines,
No.
newspapers
I
anymore,
know, right?
And all of our personal favorites.
A telephone. Now, can y'all just sit there and imagine if Alexander Graham Bell was sitting in this room right now?
Bless him if he were.
Yes.
He'd never be the same.
And we could tell him, this little computer I hold in my hands right now, it'll make phone calls back and forth. And his first question would be like, well, where's the cord? Where's the wire?
No kidding.
And it does all this stuff that supposedly makes our lives easier.
And not only are you going to be able to do a phone call back and forth, but you can write somebody back and forth.
And you can see them too.
You can see them and you can take pictures and send them.
While we're talking about video like that, inventions, I remember watching movies when I was little, and there'd be like these futuristic, like kid future movies, like they're in space and all that stuff, and they would hold what now we would call a tablet in their hands and video call each other. And I distinctly remember as a kid thinking that is absolutely absurd that you could hold a box in your hands and someone else's face would appear and you could have a conversation with them. I thought, and I'm talking like 3rd, 4th grade, like truly not that long ago.
I did too, but mine was with the Jetsons.
And yeah. And now you can just pick your phone up and FaceTime. I mean, just like.
And you think of
it's ridiculous.
Alexander Graham Bell, but he was only the first one to get a patent for it. But there were many who had already kind of come up with that idea and who had worked really hard for that. But he scored the patent, and then
Bill
we all
Atlantic.
remember his name, really, for real.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be soon where we're going to be just doing things in the air with our finger.
Oh, yeah.
Like you'll just like tap on things in the air.
Oh,
and-
yeah, I'll think of something, and this bubble a thought bubble will literally appear above my head, and y'all be able.
I know.
That's scary.
People
That's
already,
scary.
thinking for us anyway.
I know.
Yeah, penicillin. What about that one? That was a big
Medicine
invention that
inventions.
changed the world for
Those
sure.
just amaze.
They do. And who tested all this stuff?
That's the thing. You
before?
got to be willing to
You
see if
do.
it's really like trial and error. I mean, hey, don't mess up. One time. That's all you got. One shot.
How about the internet?
Now that's probably one of the biggest of all, greatest
The
inventions
World
of all.
Wide Web.
As my mother, until she passed away, called the internet the abomination of the world.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She's always said that. She said, I get that it can do wonderful things. You can reach people for Jesus that you wouldn't normally be able to. But she said, I feel like it's doing far more damage than it is good.
She probably wasn't wrong.
Well, Candi, going back to you, because I know you do have a passion for inventing some stuff, and I think you would be so good at it.
Well, thank you. Why do you think that?
You have that mind. You have that mind that can see something from A to Z, not just what's in front of your face. And so I think you would be actually good at that. So I would like to see you try it and not be fearful about it. You know?
Thank you. Can you front a little money?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
I can't do that.
I will give you one bag of Skittles for 85% stock in your company
I'm out.
without even.
And I'll just pray for you. How's that? I'll just pray for you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to end with this. Teddy Roosevelt, Theodore himself, said this. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. So you go on out there, girl.
All right.
Get her done.
Millionaire, here I come.
You going to tithe on that?
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.